Rich Shea here with another unboxing, this time mini rails, designed by Mark Gerrits, produced by Tasty Minstrel Games and Mo Ideas Game Design. It's not a brand new game, but when it first came out it was hard to get. There were a few copies and then they weren't around. The idea is to make a tiny short rail game that gets in the maximum amount of shenanigans. I'll have to play it and see if that turns out to be what happens here. The box is pretty small. It's we got 3 to 5 player, 45 to 60 minutes for older kids. It's a rule book in English. The rules, let's move that over. Color pictures, reasonable text, a lot of dark brown on cream seems to be popular, and then yellow. And you can see that there's variable maps that come out, players track stuff, player profit boards, action tiles, player markers, company markers, a cloth bag, and rule books. So you can see you create a frame around there, then fill it in with a big central city with a bunch of terrain. Then the players will set up their boards, and then your action markers, 2 per player, get placed in a Catan layout kind of revolving thing. The first player is also the last player, and the last player is first on the second half. So, and you can see what it's going to look like set up there. The rules aren't very long. There's a number of rounds with you set up the draw phase about company actions that are available. Then each player takes 2 actions. One action has to be buying shares. One action has to be building track for a company. Don't have to be the same company. Okay, and they do it in the order that comes out on the board, but the order for the next turn depends on which company you take. You basically will replace a token with your worker, and that will be where that worker is on the order track next turn. The way it works out is that there's going to be 1 more marker than there are player turns in each round, and that marker gets moved onto a taxation track over here, which is 1, marks the game turns, and 2, shenanigans at the end of the game that I'll explain in a minute. So on the map, and we'll get to that, when you place track, you might make a company more profitable, you'd think that would be the point, or less profitable, and in rail games, that's often the thing. Doing damage is as common an occurrence as trying to make a rail system that's profitable. So there we go. You get boxed in. The game ends after all the turns happen, and what happens is companies that got left over or taxed, either all of the negative scoring tokens on player boards are removed for that company, or if there's no taxation token for the company, all the profitable token markers are removed for that company from all the player boards. Then you sum up the value of the tokens you have left, which might not even be positive, sort of like the railroad system in the United States, and the person who is furthest ahead or least behind is the winner. Plus there's some tiebreakers. It's pretty straightforward. 6 pages of rules and 1 page with some frequently asked questions and a quick reference on the back. The company tokens come out randomly drawn out of this lovely bag, burlap, but with a name on it. The player tokens are in here, just regular pawns. You get 2 in each color for up to 5 players. The company tokens are just round things. There are 12 for each of the companies, and I think there's 6 companies. 12 times 6, 72, yes. But the number in a game depends on the number of players in the game. It might not actually be 12 per company in an actual game. The map board is made by putting these super hex pieces out. You can see they have different terrain. The only thing that matters is white dots are increase the profits of a company when you build on that. Red dots decrease the profits on a company when you build on that. The tiles are random. Some of them have 2, 3, 1 value. This is the center thing. It has a 5 positive value, so if you get to the center, and I guess it's kind of a race because there's only going to be 1 token on there, then you'll get a big profit jump. There are cardboard tokens showing the kind of actions, one for each kind of action for each player. Like this is the green player's lay track token, and this is the green player's buy a stock certificate token. And you just move those off the board to show you've done the action. Or of course you could flip them over. Here's the I haven't done the action, I have done the action side. So that can be done different ways. And there's 2 of those for each player, so you can keep track of which action you actually did. These components, this is the board for the game, so the taxed companies will go here, showing which of the 6 rounds it occurred in, and also show you how many rounds have been played. This will start, the player order things will be up here, the company tokens will be down here. As you replace them, the player tokens will appear down here, and then the next round, the company tokens will go up here, and you'll just move back and forth so you can keep track of the player order. The players all have the same boards, although they have, do they have their color? Yes, black, brown, purple, orange, green. Not too good for telling them apart for colorblind players, but for each of the companies that you take stock in, you place the stock at 0 when you get it, and then as the game goes on, the value of that stock will either drop or rise, limited to 10. And of course, at the end of the game, it might or might not score for you. And then there are the randomly placed borders. So you either have to use all the borders on this side, but randomly put together, with each of the companies will have a starting location that you build out of, or you flip them over to the other side, where I don't think it's very different. That's 3-player, 4. No, it's not very different. I have no idea what these things are for. But that's how you put together the board to start. Make a hex outline with that, and then start putting out the random components. So those are the components. I'm looking forward to giving it a try. It's try to get the most shenanigans into the shortest amount of time with a real themed game. Kind of a holy grail kind of thing. We'll see how it works out. Not sure they completely succeeded, but people have a lot of fun playing this game, so I'm looking forward to that. Thanks for watching. And again, you know, I'm involved with the Meeple League, where we're concerned about trying to advance competitive play. We're put off a little bit by the current world situation, but when we get back to it, it's fun, and we also do it online. So you can check that out at meepleleague.com and see if you're interested in competitive gaming, league play, or just play like that with your friends. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll try to do them more regularly now. Bye-bye.